Hey guys, it's Johnny Hunkins here with Mopar Muscle Magazine, and today we're going to install a RetroSound Redondo sound system in our 1968 Plymouth Valiant. And I just wanted to show you, for starters, how much it looks like a stock radio. You know, you've got the thumb wheels that were a classic Chrysler trademark, the Wonder Bar buttons there. So it looks like a completely stock solid state Dodge radio, but in fact it's completely modern. You know, it's got the electronic tuning. It can play your MP3 player files. In fact, let's show you behind it. We've got show us the somewhere in there. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, you can put your USB thumb drive in there to play your MP3 files, and you can even plug your iPhone directly into it. So this thing's got packed with features, and we're going to install it in the car today. We're going to go through the installation for a Mopar, which is going to include speakers, power amps, and a subwoofer. The first thing you're going to do when you get everything unpacked is you're going to attach the Wonder Bar and the display unit to the Redondo radio via these connectors that go right there. The NOS faceplate does not come with a Redondo radio. We got that on eBay, but you need it so that you can space the Wonder Bar and the display the right distance. You've got some screws on the side. You kind of have to jockey that around to get the spacing right, and then you just set the plate right on top of it, and you'll know if it's right. Screw the wing brackets on so you can mount the thumb rollers, but make sure you leave them loose so that you can slide them and adjust them in and out. Putting the thumb rollers to your Redondo radio is easy. You just clip them into the wing brackets. First, you want to take a look at the arrow on the back that shows you the orientation. That has to go up. Use these short cables to connect the thumb wheels to the radio unit. You have to do this on both sides. Now that you got your unit all set up, you want to take the faceplate off and put it on the dashboard. It's going to be secured from behind by 4 self-tapping nuts. Now, before we put the radio in the dash, we want to replace the 4x10 speaker up underneath the dash while we have access to it. So we've taken the old 4x10 out, which is mounted on a factory plate, and we've mounted the new RetroSound 4x10 speaker on the factory plate, and we're going to put that up under the dash before we put the radio in. The last part of the pre-fit on the stereo is to get the bracket measured and bent. The old stereo we took out, you can see that whoever did the jackleg job on that really mangled it. What you really want to do is get the stereo in there, make a very precise measurement of where the bend's going to be and where the cut's going to be. We've already done that. We decided to go down to the dash because when you go up, it interferes with the wiper transmission. Before the Redondo goes in your car, you want to pre-wire some of the harnesses to it to make your job easier. This is our quad power amp. It's going to feed the speakers for the front and the 2 speakers in the package tray. It's going to go underneath the dash, and we've got a place picked out for it where we're going to screw it, and it connects to the head unit, and it also connects to the speakers. So we've got several harnesses that need to be hooked up to this for power, for speakers, and also to feed power to the head unit. amp is mounted in the footwell, so we want to connect the two harnesses that go to the head unit. One's a brown socket and one's a black socket, and they just connect right like that. We got our black ground wire hooked up to the chassis, and then that yellow power wire is going to go back to the battery. You're going to have to get two pairs of RCA phono plugs to carry the audio signal from the head unit to the quad amplifier. They're broken up into front and rear, left and right. Those do not come with the kit. You're going to have to go to a Walmart or a Radio Shack or someplace to get those cables. We're also going to add one of RetroSound's 100-watt subwoofer systems. This is a powered subwoofer, and it really is going to add the thump to our music. We're driving down the road in this Valiant. It's really loud, and we lose a lot of the bass response to the music, so this is going to really make it thump for us. On the side of it, you'll notice we've got a crossover point set that we can change. We've got a phase switch we can change the phase of, and we can also determine, set the gain of the unit. So if we want a little bit less or a little bit more bass depending on the music, we can just reach down there and set it. We're going to install this thing now, mount it underneath the seat on the driver's side because we have some interference with the fuel system on the passenger side. This is going to be the final position of our subwoofer. We're obviously pre-mounting it because we're going to put a carpet in later, but we want to make sure that the wires go in the right places and get that all routed. Well, the subwoofer is now pre-wired and pre-mounted. We've got the yellow power wire going along the tunnel and along the frame rail out the back and into the trunk where the battery is remote mounted. And we have another remote control so that we don't have to reach underneath the seat, that the control wire goes up through here, and there's a little box under the dash that controls the amount of the bass, and the last wire coming from it is a ground wire that's going on right up near the hinge there on the kick panel. The two yellow power wires from our subwoofer and our quad amp go here. Next, we're going to mount our 6x9 triaxial RetroSound speakers on the package tray. A lot of guys will mount them with the speaker grill on the top of the package tray. That's the way it was mounted before, and you can see we've got our old package tray here. But what we decided to do was to get a new package tray from Classic Industries. This one right here is pre-cut with the original style grill slots on it. So what we'd like to do instead is take the speaker and mount it from under the metal package tray and then bolt it to the body of the car and then lay this over the top of it. That'll be a lot cleaner installation than having a big speaker grill that's not stock looking on top of your package tray. With our speakers installed, we can now put the brand new Classic Industries underlayment, and that'll be in preparation of the package tray that we also got from them. Now we're going to put our brand new Classic Industries package tray over the top of it. With our rear speakers installed, we now are able to hook up our speaker wire and run that to the front of the car through the rocker panel area here. This wire is going to be spliced to a small harness right here that comes with the retro radio kit, and that plugs into the quad amp, which we've got in the footwell area. Our 4 speaker wires are terminated now on our pigtail underneath the dash, and that pigtail is going to be plugged into the quad amplifier that we showed you earlier. We're down to our last harness. This one right here is the power going into the unit and the key on and the key off, and it just hooks right into the back of the quad amp harness right here, and we attach it to the vehicle wiring. at some point you've got to hook up the line level input to the subwoofer. This is a cord you have to buy, again, at either Radio Shack or Walmart or something. And you basically have a left channel and a right channel for your subwoofer material. It's got to plug into the side of the subwoofer, and the other end goes under the dash to the appropriate connectors leading from the head unit. Back under the dash here, we're going to use our old antenna since we already have a good one attached to the car. And that just goes into this little plug right here on the back of the RetroSound radio. The last thing to do is put in our new carpet from Classic Industries. Christian's already cut out all the holes for the wiring and the shifter and the seats. And then we're going to put the subwoofer back in and we're done. The RetroSound radio is pretty sophisticated. It actually comes with a USB port, 2 of them in fact. And that's how you can play your MP3 files and recharge your phone, and also plug in your auxiliary into the side of the unit. So this little socket right here, we're looking for a good place to put it. So we decided to put it inside the glove box, which we didn't actually have a glove box in this car before. So we got one from Herb's Parts for 19 bucks, and we're going to put that in this car and then put a hole in the side of it for our socket. Well, there you have it. Our Redondo RetroSound stereo for vintage Mopars is installed in our 68 Plymouth. We have the Redondo Motor 3 radio. We have the quadraphonic 4-channel power amp. We have a 4x10 speaker in the dash. We have the 100-watt subwoofer that's powered under the seat, and a pair of 6x9 ovals triaxle units hiding underneath a stock package tray. Altogether, this is runs around $800. We wish we could play it for you, but ironically, if we put any kind of music through it, our video is going to be flagged by Google, Facebook, and YouTube and taken offline automatically. So copyright infringement doesn't allow us to play any music on it. We have tried it out, and trust us, it works awesome. We really love the modern features of it. It'll bring your classic car up to modern car standards. You're going to love it.